back to Cuban with a Twist. Today we're going to be making oxtail. It's in a stew. It doesn't sound very good, but in Spanish it's rabo guisado. Okay? We're going to start off. We bought some nice oxtail from our butcher. I'm going to open that up and season it first. Okay. There we go. And the great thing about this is that, it's got a bone in, which is going to give us great flavor as we're cooking it. So first thing we're going to put a little seasoning on it. Okay. Okay. We're going to let it sit for about 30 minutes or so, and then we're going to brown it. And put it in the refrigerator. Now we're going to get started, and we're going to roast some tomatoes, some peppers, some green and yellow and red ones. And we're going to mix that all together. We're going to roast it with some garlic, and that's how we're going to make our sauce. Alright, we've got our tomatoes. We're going to put 3 different kinds of tomatoes. We've got some nice Capari tomatoes. We're going to take the little heads off. Okay, we can make a great sauce. Put that in there. I've pre-washed these, so these are good to go. We've got some of the sunbursts. And I like to mix it up because, you got different flavors in your tomatoes, and that really makes a difference in your sauce. Here's a couple of cherry tomatoes. Looks good. Drizzle it with the olive oil. Okay, at the same time I'm going to go ahead and throw in my yellow peppers, my red peppers. Okay, do the same thing. Make sure that they're covered with olive oil. I'm going to put some salt and pepper. This is that gray salt. It's got a smoky flavor, which is really fantastic. And then we've got the black pepper. Okay. Let's also throw a head of garlic in there. I'll put it over here in the corner. Drizzle that also with the olive oil. A little bit of salt. And then a tiny bit of pepper. And remember, we're going to put that in our oven for about 20 minutes or so till everything is nice and smushy, but not black. You want to keep it from turning black. We're back. We're going to brown the oxtail. So I've got my sauce pot, and I've got it nice and hot with some olive oil in it. And you really want to hear it simmer when you put it in. Just like that. No, we don't want it to cook, we just want it to brown. So you're going to stay here. And we're just going to make sure that it goes in a brown. You see it's got that, starting to get that nice little brown color. You want to make sure that that's everywhere. And it's okay if you start getting that on the bottom of your pan, because we're going to put a little bit of red wine at the base to soften that up, and that's where we're going to get some nice flavor from. And this should take probably about 4 to 6 minutes on each side, depending on the temperature. Alright, we're back. And it's been about 6 minutes or so, and as you can see, it's got a great brown color. We're going to pull these out. We're going to let them rest. And while they're resting, I'm going to add a little bit of red wine to this. I've reduced the temperature. And I'm going to add some red wine to it and then some beef stock. Just so we can bring out some of this flavor. We're going to deglaze the base of the pot. There we go. We're going to add a little bit of beef stock. Over and above the stock that we have right here. This is a new product that I found that I like. It's got a good flavor. It's home style. It's the Nord home style stock. So we're going to try that today. Just add that in there. I'm going to use my wood spatula to be able to take some of that glaze off of the base. It's melting, you can see that. I've raised the temperature now because I'm going to add the onions, the peppers, and the fresh basil to this. And then I'm going to let that cook until it's translucent. But I do want it to get a little bit hotter. Which shouldn't take more than a couple of minutes. So let's go ahead and add that stuff to it. I've loosely chopped it. Not small, not big. Because once we put this in the pressure cooker, it's really going to dissolve. And add a little bit more olive oil to this. And then we're just going to saute the onions until they're translucent. Okay, the tomatoes are ready, so we're going to pull that out. Okay, we still have the onions and the peppers stirring in the pot. We got that on medium heat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the garlic out, because I'm going to chop that up and I'm going to take out all the little garlic heads, and I'm going to pull out the peppers. Okay. We're going to cut the tops off the peppers and then we're going to just throw it in. Now the tomatoes have, nicely broken up. There's plenty of juice. We're going to add that to our fryer. There you go. We're going to let this simmer all together once I've added the peppers and the fresh garlic for about 15-20 minutes before I put it into the pressure cooker. Come over here, I'm going to cut the tops off. Peppers. Nice. Take the seeds out. They're nice and mushy. Throw that in there like that. one's nice and that one's really loose. Okay. Add this to a pot. And just squeeze out the garlic. There we go, nice. Oh, it's kind of hot. Now I've combined all of the different flavors. Everything is simmering in here. And what you would do is, if you were going to prepare this dish traditionally, you would add the oxtail into the sauce, cover it, and let it sit for about 2 hours. Okay? But like most of us, we have football practice, we have dance class for our children. We have such busy lives that we have to find, other ways to be able to create the same dish. So we're going to add all of this sauce and the oxtail in the pressure cooker. And once we put it in there, it'll be maybe 30 minutes or so, and it'll be ready. Okay, we've put all of the tomatoes, the oxtail, everything is in there. Now we're going to cover it. And we're going to put it on high for 30 minutes. Okay, and start. I've got some white rice going. We're going to fry up some platanitos maduros, and we're going to have a great dish. I'll see you. Everything's done. We've served it with some white rice. We've made some platanitos maduros. This is a great dish. Like I said, if you have to go to work, traditionally you would do it on the stove. Nowadays we can use a great pressure cooker, any one that you can find in any appliance store. Again, thank you so much for watching us. Follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and take a look at our videos on syndicatednews.net. Thank you again.